All right. Welcome to the lab, where I'm trying to do this on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Let's see how this works out. Great. So what I want to do today is to port my SaaS product, Meflon, over to the latest version of Andurel. I did some breaking changes in Alpha 8, so we could have... Oh, let me just kill the... Sorry. I was wondering who was speaking. So I did some breaking changes, so we upgraded the version 5 of Echo, and then I also made it so that whenever we generate a resource, we actually wire everything up by using a pointer in the command app main.go file that the framework look for, and then place the controller router wiring dependency injection through that one. So that is kind of like one of the two big changes. I'm also working on getting some proper hot reloading working, as well as some better front end components to ship with. So I think there's a lot of cool things happening. All right. I am currently on Alpha 8, and what we want to port is the Meflon project. So let me just start by creating, let's say, back Meflon, and then we move Meflon into back. No, back Meflon into back Meflon, right? Good. I have a lot of back folders. Andurel new Meflon. And we don't want anything else for now. No. So Andurel new simply just scaffolds a new Andurel framework project. It comes with authentication. It comes with database setup and background jobs. So you basically have everything that you need to build a full stack web application out of the box. So next step here is we will need to run tool sync to get all of the development tools. Update. I try to make the next step here a bit more clear whenever you are actually starting a new project. So let's jump in and say Andurel tool sync, which is just a bunch of tools to work with the database and work with emails locally, and work with views, all of those kind of things, and having, live reloading. Not yet. We do rebuild the binary every time we make a change, which is necessary for some of the parts, but not for the UI elements, which is also what I'm working on getting done, so we can have quicker visual changes whenever we make changes in the UI. All right, next part was to move the env, and actually what I want is to copy the one from this project right here into here and overwrite. Yes, because the .env example. So what we need to add is to add these, which I might have to do upstream because I have an API key that that I can't really show. All right, doesn't really matter. Now this is just the initial scaffolding structure. So I think let's walk through this and just give you a brief tour to what you get. So we get assets and you ship default with Tailwind. Well, it's nothing because we haven't run it. We ship with Datastar. and then we embed everything into the binary, so it's super easy to release. We come with some configs here that is basically just the env variable, so it's easy to work with throughout the app. Let me jump out, and then we do some defaults here, so we can quickly grab the env, project name, domain, base URL, stuff like that. Stuff we will need throughout the project. Then we of course have controllers, and the way controllers work is that they are standalone struct with methods, which makes them a lot easier to test. And one of the breaking changes from Alpha 7 to 8 was that we now have to accept a pointer to context. But other than that, it's literally just a struct with some methods that gets wired up in the command here. In this setup controllers right here. And one of the big things I did here in number 8 is that we have this little pointer right here, which is kind of brittle, but yeah, we need something to show the CLI where to put the newly generated controllers. So this is what we're gonna be attempting for now. You can move this, so we can move it down here if you want. The CLI will look for this in this file and then add this register methods that lives on the router struct above it. But this does give us end-to-end generation whenever we want to generate a new source, which is much more aligned with the Rails philosophy. So there's controllers, we ship with some base CSS here, we have a theme, we have some base, setup, tailwind, topography, forms, yeah, pretty standard. Then we have the database where we set up some seeds, because we do ship with authentication, so you can just run database seed after running the migrations, and then you will have an admin user and a regular user that you can use for local development. We do ship with migrations as well, so we have river queue for the background jobs, and then the users table and tokens table, so we can validate emails, and then an implementation of storage.pool, which comes from the internal package that is managed by Andurel. That this one here must this struct must implement to fulfill, and it's pretty standard. Some methods to begin a transaction and roll back and commit. And also a way to get the pool that we create up here in new Postgres. We do have emails, so we have a base layout, and all the emails is also temple that we'll get to in a second, but this is just a nicer way to work with views in Go. We can create all these little components here and create some decent looking emails out of the box. We ship with okay. All right. Let's look at that later. So we ship with this application called MailPit, so that we can work with emails locally, which is very nice. We have the internal directory, which have these packages that are all managed by Andurel, so we can run upgrades whenever there is a new version released of Andurel, and they will upgrade all of these packages. You can still add a file that will not get overwritten, but these will get overwritten if there are changes to them, so please don't make any changes to them. And this is pretty much wraps around Datastar from Delaney's, the creator of Datastar. His Go package, I took that and made some modifications, so we work directly with Echo instead of he uses the standard library, I believe, but we use Echo, so we can make it a little bit easier to work with. We can also update it in the future. Then we have models that ship with token model and a user model, and the basic philosophy here is that we can generate all of this based on our database table, and then we do some of the base methods you need, like find, update, create, paginate, so you're ready to work with our new resource whenever you have scaffolded it. We have the queue, which has workers to send marketing and transaction emails out of the box. We have the jobs that specify the data we need. We have router as well, which is where we did a lot of the work for the alpha 7 to 8. And what this one does is use the internal routing package to create different kind of routes. So for example, we have this new with token that takes in a name and a prefix, as well as our symbol routes here that just takes in a path and a name and a prefix, so that we can quickly reference our route throughout the project. So we can use this in views, we can use this in controllers, we can use this in our emails, and they will stay consistent because they are defined in one place. The routing package ships with a few options, like let me just see here. Yeah, we have symbol route, ID route, IDs route, param route, and some old stuff I'm still considering here, which makes it easier to work with. So it's a little bit more upfront work. You need to do this once. If you want to add a new kind of route, for example, you might want to have a route with a param that you target, and you can use these. You can use the param route here, so you can create your own type that targets a specific name in the URL, and that is like a one-time operation. You can be used as much as you want. So in here, if you instead of needing to target token, you could create a new route type that replaces this instead of token. I hope that makes sense. And this gives us some nice help whenever we do, for example, like passwords edit.io. I can do it right here. So let's say, what can we do? Like do password edit. We can do URL, and then we get some nice help here from the type system, so we know what we need to pass. It's not just some random naming, and we have to remember what was the name of the URL element. It tells us directly. So the routing package that then gets hooked up through these connect asset routes, which is just methods on the router that uses this new add route syntax from Echo v5. Pretty straightforward, and all of this then gets hooked up in the router here, where we have a register custom routes as well for anything that does really fit into a controller flow. And then we set up some middleware that you are free to update as you want. We did also update to use both CSRF and the segfetch sites that is also being added in Rails 8.2, I believe, or 0.2, I can't remember. Rails 8 something added this, we also have that now. We have some telemetry, so we can actually export telemetry data from our application out of the box. You just need to have the underlying infrastructure in place. And then finally, we have all of the views that are built with Temple, so it ships with a base layout and a homepage, shipped with some form components that I'm working on extending a bit more. Yeah, so this is basically a new Andurel project. We also have this andurel.log file that specifies the version you're on, also which tools you are using, and also the scaffold config. Right now we only support Postgres, but I want to support SQLite, MySQL, stuff like that in the future. But for now it's only Postgres, and we can also use vanilla CSS. But I mainly use Tailwind with base code components, so it has better support right now for Tailwind, but I want to get vanilla CSS up and running because it has gotten quite good in the last few years. Anything else? Yeah, so all of these development tools we are using is separated from the go.mod file. I know we can do the tools directive as well, but that kind of mixes in application dependencies and tooling dependencies, which we don't really want. So having So having this log file here makes it so that we can have application dependencies and dev tooling dependencies separate from each other, and we can also update these through Andurel. Whenever a new Andurel version is released, we might update these, and then it will go in and update the version here and download the binaries into our binary directory here that has all of the dependencies. All right. This was a very fast walkthrough of the project structure. Is basically an opinionated model view controller architecture that we scaffold, and then we add some tooling on top. So what we need to do now, actually, I think what I want to do is to remove the .git folder, and then jump out into back, go into the current one, and just say schema, check out master, jump back out again into Meflont, and then we copy that. So we have back meflon.git in here. Job port to I don't know, alpha 8. Chuck that in. And we have a bunch of changes here. Job port to alpha 8. Get that up there. And now what we need to do is basically move all of the migrations, get those ported over to the new one here, and then generate all the resources, move the views. Yeah. So if I jump in here, split the screen, go into back Meflon, and database migrations. Probably better if I open a new window. Oh, work, back Meflon, database migration, and I guess we start at create tokens. So Andurel db make new. I need to work on these commands to make them a bit more user friendly. Create teams table. Create team membership table. Create servers table. And then I guess we want to actually jump in the order a little bit here and create server. Create server provision steps table. Am I spelling that correctly? I am. And then we want configuration. That is not events, it is steps. It's just the naming that's wrong. Right. We also want server users table, so we can track the users we create on the server. We want server access Should that be events or logs? Let me leave that one out for now and instead create the create server operational status table. Right, so we elect this one, but we have all the other ones. Right, so now we have a bunch of migrations. So let's start with the teams table here. Am I playing? I'm not sure that is without copyright. All right. Unique, yes. Do I want this to be unique or unique with? Because we can have teams of the same name. Yeah, we'll figure that out later. Team membership now. Yeah, that looks fine. And then servers. Created that, yes. Server type, all of this looks good. Yeah. And then we had, what is the next one? Provision steps. And I know these ones are probably not correct anymore. Right. Configuration. Yeah. And I'm also not sure these are correct anymore. We do this and this. Then we have users. And I do not want an index now, so this is also correct. So whenever we create a server, we create two users. We create one for the customer and we create one for Meflon to access the server in case of emergencies. Typically, we will just interact with the server through the agent that we install on it, which is just a simple Go application, Go API that will trigger deployments, will trigger server updates and all of that. And then it's the status we need. And that looks fine. Let me just go through. Yeah, I want this to be exactly how it would look if Goose had generated all of it. So I probably need to also fix this in the scaffolds. Andurel Meek scaffold needs select statements. Yeah. But other than that, this one actually looks good. Yeah. Get rid of this for now. Dual make fix, so we renamed him. Yeah. And edit teams and server related migrations. Then let me just go through. So we have this generate option for Andurel, where we can generate model, views, controllers, or we can generate everything at once. So we have views, controllers, models, routes, everything connected. And I want to do resource team. Let's see if this one works, hopefully. Which correctly adds the team to command app, controller as well, the queries as well. Yeah, we add a factory so we can create seed data. We add the team correctly. We add the routes correctly. I mean, all of this is looking beautiful. And we create the views as well. Nice. Edit team resource. Next up is, what did we do here? Team membership is not gonna be a model. That's gonna be just a SQL statement. Yeah. Actually, do. Yeah, so I do have this Andurel generate queries. Team memberships, right? Yeah. So not everything here has to be a model, because models should map to our business entities, domain entities, instead of just being like in Rails is a one-to-one relationship with the table, and I don't really believe that to be the case. We want to have our models represent our core components of the system, which does not necessarily have to be one-to-one with the table. It can be, but for example, we might have on our model team here, we might have something like members. That is not a member, that's a user, right? Which doesn't reflect what is on the table, but we will then provide the logic to have this this field on the team struct. Right, so we can now create team memberships. Edit team memberships. Here is. Yeah. Great. What's the next? Yeah, servers. Generate resource server. And we do have the convention that model tables are plural and models are singular form. Controllers are singular form. And what is it? Views. Yeah, also singular with the Rails naming convention. So we have to do like server singular for the model, so the model binds everything together, right? And yes, again with I mean, this is working a lot better than I expected. It's brittle if you remove it, but then we also should show a warning to the user. Edit server resource. And then the next one is provisioning step, which we do want to be a model. And let me just check if the logic here is working correctly. So if I remove this and say Andurel generate resource server provision step. What? I can spell. So it's Andurel generate server provision step. Right. So we need to have this created at, which is a logic requirement I've made that I'm actually gonna remove. So let me just for now go in here, grab this and have these ones, so it will actually generate, but I'm gonna remove this because we don't really need to require this. Let's remove this and remove this. We generate, but we could not find it. Right. And then we should be able to copy paste this, jump into, add this back in, and then it's no. Try one more time. Come on, let me copy from the terminal. When have I hated on proprietary software? That's a weird comment, my guy. But fair. So this is a YouTube comment that doesn't show up on screen right now. Ah, come on. All right. Also, the naming is when pointer not there, it shows variable name wrong. In gen resource. Yeah. So let me just Steps, new server, provision steps. And register server provision step routes. There we go. It's almost working. I just need to fix this name right here. I don't stream the client and all of its games and its proprietary software, but they get a pass because they work on Linux. What is it you're on about, my guy? Bydov 1207. Yes, so this is all good. Edit server provision steps resource. And then the next one, configuration. Server configuration step. And we have same issue. That will get updated in a newer version of Andurel. Yes, get rid of that and get rid of that. Did I not just fix this? We check all of it, of course. Right. What up, watching Re2? How you doing? Get that in there and then get this in there. And now can I generate? Thank you. Yeah. Edit server configuration step resource. And then we have what's server users and server operational. And just wanna, because this pointer I have, I should be able to place it somewhere else and have it added. So let me just try and do this and say server. Okay. It's not nice. And it's there. Great. This is working, but the naming is wrong. My stream is audio only. Okay. I mean, I am seeing it on my own stream manager, both on YouTube and Twitch, that my screen is showing. I'm not really sure what's the issue there. Thanks for confirming that, Warpy Monkey. I'm not sure if this is a real guy saying this, that the video is not working. It's weird. But thanks for the confirmation, man. Right. So servers is good. I should probably... no, I'm not logged in this one. Okay. Am I logged in here? Yes. I guess it's a bug report. Wrong variable naming. On generate resource with so the example is so it does provide HTML templates. So when you generate a resource, we do get, for example, for the configuration step, it does some very basic setup here. But you basically have the views to do, like, towards the index, to see a table, to see a specific one, to create a new one, to edit. So the CRUD operations templates are being shipped whenever you generate a resource. I am working on shipping with more components, so you can better create or can more faster create proper looking views. But it does ship with the HTML templates, and then data start to do the submitting and UI UX stuff. Watching read 2, I'm not sure. I can't really see it on my end. It looks fine here, both in my stream health and everything. You can also join on YouTube if it's bad. I'm not sure what to do with it right now. But sorry to hear that it's not working. Let me just get this issue created. I have milestones, yeah. And let me add it to this one. There we go. But yeah, if you want Warpy Monkey, check it out and let me hear what you think. There's still some issues I need to get through before I do a beta release. But it's getting very close right now to stable, and then it's literally just optimizations that needs to get run. Where was I? All right. So we have the server users. Edit server user resource. I am just going to quickly shut this and then go to Twitch.tv at MBV Labs. Yeah, watching Read too. I'm sorry, I don't know what's the issue. It looks fine here on my end. So what's missing? Operational status, right? Andurel, and we have the same. I need to. Yeah. It is what it is. Andurel generate resource. Server operational status. Right. So I do have this backup here with I can specify the table name. I shouldn't have to do this. But maybe the logic around pluralization is a little bit off. Right. And that still have this naming right here. That is known, that is fine. Right. What we want to do? Jump in here and actually fix this naming. So you technically don't need to follow Rails conventions because if you specify the table name, like here, we get this one that that the CLI will use. This is also not that nice. The naming needs to be better. Table. To model is off, not snake cased. Right, so we can also just override the naming conventions by specifying the table parameter, and we will still get all of the base model functionality, all functions, factories, as well as all of the routes. We should have the route right. Yeah. And we should have the factory as well. Yeah. Yeah. So some minor things that needs to get fixed, but overall is looking good. So let me just commit this. Edits server operational status. Get that one in. Right. Now, actually, let me just docker ps, docker exec, it 2f1, bash, postgres, PSQL, drop database, mflant dev, and create database mflant dev with owner maybe local. And now can I do Andurel db mic up? Yes. Do a run. Right. I also need that was for configuration in controllers, right? I need something like this for modifying strings as well in the controller, but I have a ticket for that, so that should be fine. But basically, I need to do attempt ID. And if we have an error, use the kernel error. Also we have metadata and server ID. Attempt server. Which is uppercase. So I can do attempt ID and server ID, yes. And do configuration. What is actually I use metadata for? I forget now. I'm just gonna pass it. Like this, right? And do. Yeah, I don't really need it for now. Have it up here as well. Can I get this guy out of here? Yeah. Right. Attempt ID, server ID, and yeah. And then also in operational status. Do I have this? I should have this in my issues. No. All right. Handle convert from string to UID in controller. We should detect when our model expects an UID and convert the string payload to an UID, like how we handle a string to time conversion. Guess let me just grab the entire thing. ESG, go chuck that in there. So I guess I could just do func UID, right? And then we need to do I think we're just gonna handle this on like a best effort basis because it's just a scaffold, and users should be able to run with it on their own afterwards. Let's do a slug one. Which should also be how we handle server. Right. Yeah. Grab all of this. And add it to issues. Yeah. Right. Then also in provision, I guess. Yeah. And do bytes. Defaulting, yes. This was for create and update. How do I deal with it? Mm-hmm. Server, great, get rid of these. And get rid of that. Server ID. And do by yes. And then operational status. And we want a slug 1. I'm guessing the same here, right? Can we actually run? We have say the same issues, right? Log 1. Yeah, this just needs to get handled by this CLI. So servers as well. Func UID. No. Log 1. And this is also just gonna add an empty one for now. I have that in the other project, so that should be quick fix. Or the project that we are porting over. Yeah. And dual run. Right. We haven't set these, and I can't really do this on stream. Because, yeah, I'm just gonna put in the starting soon. Gonna update the env variables and then jump back in again. I have some things in here that I can't share, like my Hetzner API token. So what we need is this CSRF stuff that was added in Alpha 8. And we are back, right? Good, so Andurel run now. We are on local host. And we have it here, and I should be able to do servers need to spell servers new, and we have some very ugly forms, so this is also one of the things that's going to be fixed in a new release, so we can actually see this, but it should be enough to create a server. Great. Also, there's no hot reloading right now. I do have an open PR for it. Because we can hot reload some things. Like text changes. Some things will need a full rebuild because of Go being compiled. But we can do like almost instantaneously changes if it's just text. So there is a PR for this. It's gonna come out in the next version, hopefully. Right. Now, let me get the CSS done. So what I typically do for my applications right now is I use this called base code. No. Base code, CSS. Which is a pure CDN port without React. Which if you like the Andurel framework, you're probably gonna love this. So I'll modify this a little bit so we can actually have colors in the UI, because a lot of the chat CDN stuff is just black, gray, and then a little bit of coloring, but I want more. So, am I in the right one? The theme I'm using right now is called Cyper. So let me just grab. And I'm not sure if I like the Cyper. I think it's a good idea on paper, but I'm not sure if it's a good idea going forward. So I do extend a bit what base code does from another component library called what's it called? It's called Daisy UI. So you have variations of the background instead of just one background, which is nice when you want to have like a background and then a card component or something, so you can make it stand out a bit more. What more do we need? I need to grab the CSS here. Base code. Let's try one more time. Yes. And what did I use in the old projects? It's the same one. Or is it? Oh, it doesn't matter. I have the theme layer. That is. Do I do anything to that? I don't think I do. No. I do something to root. No. No. No, that's right, I don't. So root here have a dark that I don't want because that's gonna come from the theme. Right. And then into base we do imports, plugins, and everything else should stay the same. So we have this theme right here, and we just need to add the color scheme to layout, right? So you say class cyber, and then it's no longer BG base. It's a little bit duplicated. We probably actually. So we have to do something like BG background, which is a little bit stupid naming, but it has to play nice with the chat CDN components. How does he actually do it himself? Yeah, BG background. I think that's, yeah, it is what it is. So now if I jump out and say Andurel run, do we actually have the colors? We do not. Right, and why don't we have the colors? Okay. And I'm beam base code. Right? Let's try again. There we go. So now we have this hyper theme I do. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to do this. But I can easily change this because now with this setup, it's literally just adding another class of this with the colors you want, because they stay the same down in theme. Then change it in the base in the HTML attribute, so we can quickly add another theme if we wanted to. But we keep the chassis and components intact, but with a little bit more personality to the color scheme. So let me just do this and say edit base code and theme. Right. So let me get back into the. Let me grab. I have these form components I want to build around. There's a little bit of an update. They're not in Andurel yet, but they're coming soon. Can I? No. Go mod tidy. There we go. So let me get rid of the old. So basically I'm creating some input here, a component that uses this fragment functionality from Temple that allows us to specify an entire page, but grab a fragment, which is really helpful when we are doing data star inline validation, or we just want to update something on a specific page. We don't need to create a lot of different components. We can just, for example, in let's say we have the server resource view and we have server new. This form right here could simply just be a Temple fragment. So wrap everything in a fragment here. Give it a name, so I don't know, server new fragment. And then whenever we create a server, we want to do inline validation, but validate it on the server. And we have, I don't know, some business logic error, validation error with the name or whatever. We can just update this part of the page, but still using this component, which is very nice. So this is basically what I'm starting to build around here. So we can update a singular input fields, or we can actually update, where do I have the form? I didn't add the form yet, did I? I have it right here. Yeah, so the form that wraps everything with this child here, we just add the fields inside or whatever HTML we want. We can add a fragment name, which will then wrap this whole thing in a fragment, and then we can only update the form with error messages shown to the user, which is very, very nice. But what I want to do instead is actually go in and start to build upon these components right here. Can I, what is it, view file? Grab all of this, copy, and yes, good. Yes, okay, get this one out, keep submit button, and now I will have a lot of errors because this are not used on the scaffold or when we generate. So let's start by fixing. We have all of these issues right now. How much do I want to do of this? Actually, I don't want to deal with all this now. So go back to what was before. like this, and grab all of this. Keep the old. We have the submit button. We have the text area. And then we have the old input. So everything below here is that will need to get converted into the same type, same style as what we do here. We also need an add CSS to the input base. Yeah. Alright, that is not for now. I want to get started on the admin. So let's do admin.temple. And this has to be done a little bit by hand. I want to create some generation logic so we can create a controller view pair without having a distinctive model associated with it. So we can all the stuff I'm about to do now, we can just have this be done for us. But controllers. So, right, this is not actually a paid an admin. This is just a page. Get rid of this, and then in pages, Meflon pages. I should have an admin. Yes. Just get that at this right here. Go models, and we need the config. What is this song? Config. We don't have data encryption key. No. It's right there. So how is it looking? No, no. It's not added yet. And paginate server. What am I doing wrong here? Right, because I have ported up over all the models. And we don't have admin home. That will just be paginated servers. So in views, admin, temple, admin, home. To do it, temple. Pages, and now, yeah. This music is horrible, come on. All right. And then in views, admin, accept this, imported rates, Andurel, temple generates. And I guess we need some admin routes. And what do I have here? And then we just do it in pages where we need admin home, and middleware. We ship with middleware. So it's called middleware, no? Of only. There we go. Do I need anything else? No. So we do have off only middleware and an IP rate limiter, so we can also lock down the login and sign up whenever we get around to that. But right now we cannot access the admin page. If I do Andurel run, right, I also need to add the config to the router here. Don't run, then in here, try to go to admin. Okay, maybe it doesn't work with the new Echo V5. Or do I actually have okay. So I have one from my previous session working on it, and we're using the same env variable, so that's also why it works. Makes sense. How are you doing? Sick, alone forever. I hope that's not true. Now with no cookie, I go to admin, we get redirected, so we can access the admin without being authenticated, which is nice. So what do I need now? Connect pages. Remove this so we can actually test things out. Connect pages. I am porting let me just show, it's probably easier. I am porting my project here called Miflon that will make, or it aims to make self-hosting servers and application feel like serverless. So it's basically Deploy or Coolify or Hatchbox or Level Forge competitor that is going to be aimed at Golang applications for now. So hosting your own VPS and deploying Golang applications either as a binary or as a Docker. And I'm also porting over the project that was built with this web framework called Andurel. It was built with version 7, and now I'm making it over to version 8 because version 8 updated some stuff related to Echo, which is the web framework. Yeah, kind of like Heroku. A lot of inspiration is going to come from how Heroku sets it up. So you will define an application and then have different environments for your applications, like production, staging, whatever. Also, I would like to have so that you can easily deploy a pull request live on your domain, test it out, and then it's literally just a webhook that you call for wherever you want to trigger your deployments. So it gets a little token. So yeah, it provisions a server right now only at Hetzner. Provisions it, configure it with all the security measures you need, and installs a little Go API agent on the server. And then you basically interact with that agent through the server. It's going to be a paid tool, but if you want to like build the dashboard and all the logic yourself, you can take the agent. It's going to be built. It's going to be built in here. There's going to be open sourced. So all the code for the agent that will run on the server will be in here, and you can basically take the API and build it yourself if you want. But yeah, kind of like Heroku, and then hopefully down the line, I would like to have server types, so you can have like application servers, telemetry servers, database servers, so it makes self-hosting those elements a lot easier than what it is right now. I think especially the self-hosting databases would be quite cool to have a product for that. Yeah, I'm I'm rambling a little bit, but that is kind of the idea. But right now, I'm just porting over to the latest version of the Andurel framework. Right, we see the admin page. Thanks, man. I hope to have a demo of right now with the current version. You can provision and configure the server. I need to get over to the latest version, and then I'm gonna build the whole application setup and deployments part. Yeah, I think it'll be quite cool. Also getting some telemetry out of the box. So if you buy into open telemetry in your applications, you should be able to hook into it immediately and see some proper telemetry data for your applications. Get some health status and notifications and all of that. Yeah. I want to grab how much it is. I want admin sidebar and admin base. Right. And I really hate this music. Come on. So annoying I can't play copyrighted music. Yeah, and let me get the wrapper as well. Yes. And I have a custom class here. So the framework also ships with vanilla CSS support, but Tailwind and base code, and then you can just write normal CSS as you like. Is really a top combo to beat. So now I can use admin. Come on, am I a 13-year-old? Okay, let's do some lo-fi instead. And admin wrapper. There we go. Run. How are we looking? Almost looking good. This should look better. What am I doing wrong? Is copy pasted directly. There we go. Right. So the admin page is there. And I'm not gonna do a whole lot to it right now because I want to show basic deployment, deployment histories or active deployments. Yeah. what gave it away? The accents. I do catch myself do a lot of like half Danish, half English sayings. But yeah, how are you doing, Panosa? Makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's true. I don't know if there's too many Danes doing streaming. Views. So what I want to do is get the nice. Yeah, that's basically, I think basically the goal of these streams. I am also doing fine, trying to port this this project over to a new framework version. Where was I? Here. Get rid of all of this. Cool. So you're new to Claude, or how long have you been doing Claude? There was a lot of people starting to pick it up after, like during holidays, where they start to give out all of the free the free tokens. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. I've been trying to adopt it for a long time, but I like my opinions of it really switches back and forth. I think. No, I do think it has value, but it's, I mean, just blindly running with it. That's where I think a lot of people will get burned, because actually the project right now that I'm porting over, I did a version where it was fully built with Claude, and I had no clue what was going on in the code base. It was basically just a proof of concept. So, I mean, you can't build stuff, but then you look at the code and yeah, not great. So I use it, but it's I try to not be completely dependent on it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really interested to see where like educational content goes with this, because you need to know what to ask them. If you know what to ask them, you can be very productive. But you need to know what to ask. You need to know what to push against, right? And as a junior, that is very, very difficult. So what do you develop and what do you use? What's your language of choice? I am from the north of Denmark originally. I'm from northern Jutland. A little. The best description is is like a little hole in the ground with people living around it. Yeah, close to Aalborg, but not Aalborg. It's a little city called Farsø. It's like 2,000 people or something. Yeah, but I live in Barcelona now. So a little bit of a difference. Pearl. Never done any Pearl actually. Yeah, what about you? Where are you from in Denmark? Kolding, cool. I used to study in Aarhus and had some mates from Kolding. It's been a long time since I've been there. Yeah, we need server type. And what else? Yeah, I need... So it looks like it's mainly URLs I'm lacking. Come on. There we go. No, I had the channel for like a year maybe, but I didn't really start doing a lot of streams before this, like just this new year actually. Yeah, I think it's quite fun, but getting the setup, everything running, and getting used to speaking all the time, it's difficult, but yeah, it's fun. There we go. Heads, not details. I should just grab this entire thing actually, I think. .net. Yeah, I mean, that's also very Danish, right? I've been using Golang for so long now, and whenever I speak to people, I do like consulting, freelancing, and whenever I speak to recruiters from Denmark, they're like, "You don't use C#, right?" It's a lot of C# in Denmark and Java, I think. How does I'm assuming AI is decent with C# or no? I guess it should be. Crypto, yes. Right. Machine learning and deep learning with C#. Right, I've removed that. Okay. I did not know that there was good support for that in C#. I was kind of hoping that I really don't enjoy working. I'm trying to do some work with it, but I don't enjoy working with Python. So I was trying to do the what's this, like Chris Latner's new language. That should be closer to how you write Rust. It looks interesting if you want to do more work with AI as well. That's not JavaScript. Not Python. What is it I need? Models. No, that makes sense. I guess I also need to start looking into Azure. Does Azure have good support for like just a virtual private server? Might be relevant for this project at one point if people want to use them. Agents. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's not like I'm targeting Hetzner at the beginning of this just for the simple fact that it is so cheap to run servers there. Get the agent token out of here. All right, so I still need to update the routes. And so you're doing some machine learning and deep learning right now? Is that what you're working on? Nice. That's cool. I always want to do more like hardware, or try and do something with hardware. I think IoT is very cool. Never got around to it, but that sounds like an interesting project. Nice. What do I need? Yeah, that makes sense. But also, like, I guess you're targeting larger organizations, right? So it's probably also a lot of pen and paper. I used to do some work with a AI consultancy in Copenhagen where they try to help with reading cleaning schedules for like Coloplast and then figure out if it has done, like, the thing has been filled in manually correctly or stuff like that. It's crazy how much of the work is literally taking these old ways of working and putting some AI on it instead of just fixing it from the... I did not copy input. Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't. Plans. Views, components, inputs. There we go. So that's why it's not working. Actually just jump out into Andurel, go in form elements. Yeah. Now, good. Right, I still need them. Still need to have. What's the name? What is it I'm missing? I'm missing operation from configuration step. Okay. I have lived in Barcelona for what, 2 years now? Yeah, 2 years or something like that. Basically met my wife. My wife is from Chile. Migrating a person from Chile to Denmark is not easy. Also, she works in healthcare, and of course, we'll have to need to learn Danish at a near native level to get approved. So, for her to get starting with work, it was simply just easier to live in Barcelona. Barcelona is like a really nice city anyway, so I'm not complaining. It is crazy to look outside right now, and it's, okay, it's raining today, but it feels like Danish springtime, and we are in the end of January, which is just amazing. Right, I need to extend this one. Yeah. I mean, most people, they go like, but why not just get married? And like, even if you are married, it's still a process of waiting. I think it's 8 or 9 months. And you need to put like, what is it? 20,000 euros in, in a locked deposit box for up to 10 years. And then you might get approved. It's just ridiculous. I mean, now that we have lived in another European country, we can apply for different rules if we wanted to go to Denmark. But I mean, the system is just broken. So instead, I get nice weather and tapas. Right, called it custom. Yeah, I'm getting pictures from friends talking to my mom and dad, and they're like, "Yeah, it's snowing," and I'm like, "Oh, sounds lovely." I mean, Denmark, especially, I think, especially Copenhagen in the summertime is absolutely amazing. But then you have like 8 months of the year that's just dark and cold that you can that you have to get through. All right, can I actually run it now? No. So database, query servers. Let me get all of these. Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. Okay, let me just keep that. Maybe I actually don't even want insert update query. Guess I need these. And what's complaining about now? Find server by find users. Models. What more? This. What is it complaining about? Okay. Database, queries. And queries, come on. So this one I already have. Upsert. Okay. Just gonna grab what I already have. How long have I been going for now? 2 hours. All right, I might end this soon and actually have some weekends. Configuration step. All right, let me add this, and then I'm probably gonna jump off and pick this up again on Monday. Really nice chatting to you, Penosa. I hope your exploration with AI and everything goes good. I think you can get value from it, but you just need to, yeah, it's just a tool, right? You need to learn how to use it. I forgot what I needed. Right. Count server configuration attempts, yeah. Amazing, man. Yeah, likewise. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Configuration count. Thanks. Dual DB UVs generate. Will run. Right. Then it's just some view stuff. All right, I'm gonna jump off now. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm gonna pick this up on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. And OBS is right.